Hello and welcome to an episode of Historically Marked. I am at Mantle Rock Nature Preserve and I'm pretty much close to the Ohio River. I believe the nearest town to me is Joy, Kentucky, and Loyola. Those I believe are unincorporated, but you got to take a lot of roads, like state roads and side roads, to get here. It was not easy to find even with a GPS, but I'm here, so I'm going to show you around. This is a very important stop on the Trail of Tears route, as you'll learn through the many markers presented here. The Trail of Tears is one of the most tragic events in United States history. I'll explain more about that. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and do some hiking and read off some markers. Here we go. Okay, this is the entrance. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with this marker that was put here in, let's see, 1980. Marker number 1675 from the Kentucky Historical Society and Department of Highways. Mantle Rock, half a mile. Okay, so that's how long I had to walk. That's fine, not too far. During winter of 1838 to 1839, the Cherokees were forced to leave their Smoky Mountain homes for Oklahoma Territory. Mantle Rock, a 40-foot sandstone arch, was used for shelter on the Trail of Tears. Since the icy Ohio River had no ferry traffic, the Cherokees sought cover beneath the arch. Many died there. Arch was also campsite for earlier indigenous people. Okay, so I believe this is the only parking area, and there is a trail. There are some National Park Service markers over there. So this is where the trail begins. Here are 3 markers. Because this is designated as part of the National Park Service program, the Trail of Tears National Historic Trail, there are a few of these around here. This talks more about the federal Indian removal policy, one of the cruelest times in our country. Now, there were many routes, like they went through southern Illinois, they went through Arkansas to eastern Oklahoma. And this is basically a map. So let's see. Yeah, obviously I'm going to, there is probably yeah, that's the long way. Or actually, I take that back. Well, that takes you all the way to private property, but for those who are here to hike and learn about some history, yeah, this is pretty much for them. So it says here the Loop Trail, which I believe is all this, that is 2.75 miles long, so it's nearly 3 miles. It looks longer, but it's not. The Red Trail is 1 mile. So the Blue Trail, it does note that it is a moderately difficult trail. So I guess there's a lot of hills and a lot of natural features that some may not be accustomed to. But there is also some historical information, how to retrace the Trail of Tears. 11 detachments containing more than 10,000 Cherokee passed through this area, not even halfway to Indian Territory. One of those groups, the Peter Hildebrand Detachment, was forced to spend 2 bitterly cold weeks in the Mantle Rock area and camp for miles along the road. They were waiting for the frozen Ohio River to thaw enough for the ferry to carry people from Barry's Ferry, Kentucky to Golconda, Illinois. Once across the river, many became trapped again between the frozen Ohio and Mississippi rivers until they could continue traveling west to Indian Territory. This talks about the nature part of it. Kentucky's only known occurrence of June grass thrives here along with other typical glade species. Well, it is June, so it's very fitting that it looks like this. Okay. And just a friendly reminder, don't bring any bikes, no horses, no climbing, no motorized vehicles, no scooters, no pets. Don't feed the wildlife, don't hunt. Basically, you can photograph, take videos like me, bring your camera, bird watch. Well, you get the idea. I'm not going to sign in, but I'm sure some people have. Oh my gosh, yeah. No thanks. All right, on we go. And one of the first markers you encounter along the trail is this one, titled Walk in Their Footsteps. The Indians as a whole carry in their countenances everything but the appearance of happiness. Some carry a downcast, dejected look bordering on the appearance of despair. The Cherokee walk the road in front of you, halfway through an 800-mile journey, feeling the loss of homeland and unsure of what lay ahead. Over 10,000 men, women, and children traveled this road during the winter of 1838 to 1839. Think of them as you hike this trail. I am. And here's a point of interest. So if I want to go to Fort Cass, Tennessee, 295 miles, or Woodall's Depot in Westville, Oklahoma, that's 485 miles. I honestly don't know if I will travel the Trail of Tears, but I have visited a few other sites, including the state park in Missouri and Cairo, Illinois. But I just gotta do it little by little. Alright, so here is where the trail kind of breaks off. If you just want to go around the loop 3 miles, you go that way. If you just want to see the Mantle Rock, you just simply go this way. It's a little bit of a ways, but you'll be there before you even know it. I'm going to keep on following the trail, and I believe that is it over there, though I'm not 100% sure. It's closer than I think, right? And there it is. I see a couple people down there already. Alright, Mantle Rock is a sandstone arch. The sand was deposited by ancient rivers during the early part of the Pennsylvanian period, approximately 320 million years ago. Yeah, there's a lot of detailed information about how the geology of the rock. I think I'm just going to go ahead and keep going on the trail until I get to that cave. Alright, right in front of it is a marker. The real story of Mantle Rock. Mantle Rock is the largest freestanding arch east of the Mississippi River. It is 188 feet long and 30 feet high. Some of the plants found here are not known to grow anywhere else in Kentucky. This very beautiful and historic place has many stories to tell. It is impossible to know how many Cherokee saw Mantle Rock when they walked along the historic road north of here. Thousands of Cherokee passed this way, waiting in winter for a safe river crossing. Many lived in temporary camps that stretched for miles along the road. Exhausted by journey and staying near supplies and wagons on the road, it is unlikely that many visited Mantle Rock itself. And over here, here's some captions. Now, other stories suggest that there were burials under Mantle Rock. The Trail of Tears claimed many lives, but there is no evidence of burials at Mantle Rock. Oh my. Okay. Now let's take a look. And obviously be very careful because, yeah, this is the part where you're going to be climbing on top of rocks to be under the arch. Yeah, this definitely would have made a great natural shelter. And maybe that's where some of them slept, underneath that rock. Oh my gosh, this is massive. Yeah, this has got to be one of the biggest arches I've ever seen besides, well, natural arches. I'm just going to kind of browse in between these rocks. And like the marker said, I mean, they definitely would have survived by fire, like hunting and cooking everything. I'm just going to kind of walk around this trail, see where it goes. I'm sure, assuming that these streams were here and creeks, I'm sure that's where they got a lot of their water. I mean, these are pretty much almost next to dry. So this is basically where the trail ends. I see a few critters in that little stream. But yeah, I guess this is where the part of it, the one end of the Mantle Rock is. Oh, hello. Very careful when you're out here. So what I'm gonna do is check out over here. If I can. Okay, yeah. More places to seek shelter down here. Wow. And obviously you're going to watch your head. You're going through these if you're tall. And the trail continues. Now I know why this is deemed as a difficult one, because you gotta climb up or down these rocks. But I think I'm gonna skip that today. It's a little muddy. Wow. And here is another creek. Okay, I'm gonna turn around and go back to the shelter. And as an added bonus, I decided to include this additional part of the Trail of Tears National Historic Trail. This is not even a few miles west of where I was at Mantle Rock. This is Barry's Ferry. And there's a couple of historical markers over there. So this is a boat landing, public toilet over there. But across the river, you can't see it, neither can I. It's Golconda, Illinois, and of course that's the Ohio River. This tells a story about Trail of Tears, similar to what we found at Mantle Rock. But imagine the scene, and unfortunately this has shown lots of wear and tear. Over 1,400 Cherokee men, women, and children from Peter Hildebrand's detachment spent 2 bitterly cold weeks camped in this area during the harsh winter of 1838 to 1839. I mean, it was basically the same